Louis IX was such a great king, such a great ruler and leader of his people. And how many presidents can you count that led their troops into war? They were sitting in the White House sipping coffee while the American boys were being slaughtered on the fields for the Jewish Masonic plans of destroying. World War I was to destroy the Catholic monarchies. World War II was to smash what was left of the Catholic monarchies and spread communism and hand over the whole East, Poland, Ukraine, and the eastern countries to communism. World War III was Vatican II, and the physical World War III will bring about, so they think, the reign of the Antichrist. But Our Lady will have a victory before that. But St. Louis embodies the ideals of Catholic Christendom, what's called Christendom. That is the Catholic state. The Catholic state which protects the true religion that Christ established. How do you know the true religion? Because Muslims will say, well, we're the true religion. Protestants will say, well, we're the true religion. Mormons will say, we're the true religion. Well, how do you know McDonald's? By the golden arches. How do you know Subway? By the lettering. How do you know Pizza Hut? By the way of the sign. How do you know the one true church? By 4 signs. One in doctrine, that is the same from the apostles, the fathers of the church, of all time, of all the councils of the church. We cannot change nor compromise or water down or evolutionize the doctrine. Same in doctrine, same in the sacrifice of the Mass, same in the sacraments. Holy. Only one church was established by He who is all holy, Christ Himself. Peter, you're a rock, and on this rock I will build my churches. Is that what He said? My churches? No, He said, Peter, you're a rock, on this rock I will build my church. My church. Because He's a jealous God. Because He loves each soul. And He doesn't want one soul lost. But He says, my church, because it's my sheepfold, it's my flock, it's my wheat field to send the laborers. So the church is holy because its founder is holy, and it gives the sacraments that makes us holy by Christ's blood. Christ's blood applied in baptism, Christ's blood applied in the confessional, washes the soul from the stain of sin, and frees the soul from eternal damnation, which it inherits by mortal sin, and frees the soul from the chains of the devil. And the devil is most cruel and drives his slaves to despair, discouragement, and to sadness, because the devil is eternally sad. So the 4 marks: 1, holy; Catholic. Catholic, meaning for all nations, all peoples, all colors. That's why the Catholic missionaries, especially these Franciscans who were Spanish, came to convert these pagan Indians to the faith. And apostolic, meaning built on the apostles, all the 12 apostles, minus Judas, plus St. Matthias, all the 12 apostles, they sealed the true doctrine and what they saw in their own blood. And St. Peter and the apostles, St. John and James, they were hard-working fishermen. If, as the idiot modernists say, the apostles were just promoting their meditations, and if it was just all a fraud, these hard-working, down-to-earth men would never have sacrificed their life for a story. But St. Peter, he gave his life for the truth. He was crucified upside down, and he was very conscious. Why was he crucified upside down, anyone?
Because he said he wasn't worthy to be crucified the same way as Jesus was?
Yes. So St. Peter, he knew exactly what he was doing. So St. Louis, he was a great king who embodied the ideals of the Catholic kingship of Jesus Christ. At the political level, acknowledge our Lord Jesus Christ. And that's why St. Louis built a whole chapel, and it's actually almost this size. It's called a chapel, to hold the crown of thorns. He had the crown of thorns brought to France And there he made a whole church just to hold the crown of thorns. During the French Revolution, they stormed that church and chopped the heads off of all the statues they could get a hold of and desecrated the altar. Today it's a museum. So St. Louis, one time he was praying before the Blessed Sacrament, and people came running into the church saying, "Our Lord is appearing on an altar in one of the churches down the block." And they were all excited about it. And St. Louis, he just said, "Well, okay, our Lord's here, so I don't need to go over there to see him. I know he's here in the Blessed Sacrament." And St. Louis also led 2 crusades. He led the 2 crusades. And you don't find leaders like that. Can you picture Obama leading the charge for his cause? But these great men, they led because they knew Jesus Christ is God, that he's King, that he's eternal high priest. And they lived that. It wasn't just nice catechism stories on a shelf. The whole political, social, economic life is penetrated with Jesus Christ as King and God. And don't make any mistake, our system of pluralism that says all religions can be free under the state, well, they say, well, we don't separation of church and state. That's what the modern Freemasons always promoted. But you know what that means? That is a religion. The religion that there is no true religion. And that is a real union of church and state. The state is united to a religion that's religionless. And as Pope Leo XIII said, indifferentism leads to atheism. The indifferentist state that says all religions can spread and have freedom to propagate their false errors leads logically to the atheistic state. And that's what we got now. The American experiment under the Masons of Washington, D.C. only lasted 200 years. We're already crashing head down. But Spain, built on the Catholic faith, lasted hundreds and hundreds of years. And look what they did. This is just missionaries who came, simple priests who came with the faith. And a king and queen that financially supported the cause. And a lot of modern history books say the Spaniards came here to make slaves of the Indians, which is total nonsense. King and Queen Elizabeth said in a proclamation to Christopher Columbus and to all the missionaries, she said, "Don't go to enslave these people. You are going to bring them to the true freedom of the Catholic faith. And anyone who's going there not to bring the Catholic faith, let them just stay back in Spain." So that was the declared mission of the kings and queens of Spain. It's glorious. It's really tremendous. Imagine Obama financing priests to go in to bring the Mass and bring the sacrifice and the sacraments to pagans in Africa. So that's the glory. So St. Louis, the King of France, he embodies the glory of Christendom. Such a great, great man. And they're very few anymore. They're not to be found anymore, unless we have men that are as rooted in the faith as these men were. So we will go now to lunch, and I'll give you a blessing. And remember to conditionally genuflect. With the new Mass, you never know if it's valid or not. Just genuflect, just in case our Lord is there. Benedictio Dei omnipotentis, Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti, descendat super vos, et manes semper.